Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, where imagination floats you softly into dreamland. Breathe, rest, and sleep.
Welcome, dear friend, to Deep Sleep Stories. Take a moment now to settle into the calmness of this present moment. Allow your eyes to grow heavy or gently close them if that feels right. If you choose to keep them open, let your gaze soften until the world beyond you becomes a gentle blur. With each breath, imagine stress sliding off your shoulders, drifting away like light clouds across a brilliant summer sky. Tonight, you will journey into a soothing narrative set in the Grand Canyon, where the warm glow of firelight and the ancient echo of canyon walls lull you into a state of deep tranquility. Let these next moments be solely dedicated to your comfort, your rest, and your peaceful transition into sleep. You might notice your breathing becoming more measured. Inhale slowly, bringing in fresh, cool air, and exhale gently, releasing any tension clinging to your muscles. Feel your heartbeat steadied by each rhythmic breath. The gentle rise and fall of your chest encourages a sense of ease that begins in the center of your body and radiates outward to your limbs. Imagine that each breath clears space in your mind for stillness to grow. In this stillness, notice how your thoughts begin to slow, how the hurry of the day recedes, replaced by a soft hush. It is in this hush that you find openness and readiness for a story that is meant to comfort and guide you deeper into rest. Let your mind drift to a desert evening sky. The Grand Canyon waits there, quiet and timeless, its immense walls painted with soft, earthy hues. Tonight, you will listen to the gentle crackle of a campfire echoing through the canyon's open air. You will see how the dancing embers create little sparks that seem to float on the breeze before vanishing into the vast darkness above. And with every word, you'll feel yourself relaxing further, resting into the serenity of a night shaped by the deep embrace of rock and sky. Now, let the scene unfold, guided by the soft current of this story, which leads you toward a place of calm and rejuvenation. A warm breeze drifted through the towering walls of the Grand Canyon on a late summer evening. The canyon itself stood as an ancient watcher, each layer of rock telling a tale older than memory. Shadows stretched across the rough terrain, shifting as the sun dipped below the horizon. In the heart of the canyon, a single campsite glowed, illuminated by the gentle flicker of a newly kindled fire. That flame, small though it was in the vastness of the canyon, offered a comforting presence. Its orange glow shimmered against the stony walls, sending little leaps of light dancing upon the rugged surfaces. At the edge of the camp, a traveler settled onto a cushion of soft earth. The traveler's eyes roamed over the rock formations, noticing how the last remnants of daylight painted them in shades of rose and gold. As dusk deepened, these colors gradually dimmed, replaced by a quiet stillness that enveloped the canyon. Within that quiet, the traveler felt a gentle sense of wonder. It was the sort of feeling that comes when one stands on ancient ground and senses the wisdom carried by wind and stone. The traveler took a moment to breathe in the clean desert air. Each inhale carried the subtle scent of sage and warm dust, while each exhale felt like a release of tension. Night creatures began their soft rustlings in nearby shrubs. The distant call of a small owl drifted across the open space. Along the horizon, the sky turned a deep violet, with the first stars appearing in faint glimmers. All around, the canyon exuded a profound calm that coaxed the traveler deeper into reverie. A slow hush settled into every nook of the canyon's walls, as though the earth itself were exhaling in relief. The fire crackled gently, and the traveler leaned in closer, drawn by the comforting glow. Sparks danced upward, disappearing into the star-flecked sky. Embers pulsed with each faint gust of wind, their vivid orange slowly fading to soft gray around the edges. From these simple, radiant details, a sense of intimacy with the ancient land arose. One could imagine how many generations before had watched fires here, told stories, or simply sat quietly, letting the canyon's presence speak for itself. Above, the sky opened up like a grand cosmic stage. The traveler observed the stars brightening with each passing moment. Soon, constellations took shape, old and familiar patterns that have guided countless wanderers across desert nights. The traveler's gaze followed the gentle arc of the Milky Way, a pale ribbon of light that seemed to stretch forever. It felt as if the canyon and the sky were engaged in a silent dialogue, a timeless exchange that said much without words. Cozy in the hush of dusk, the traveler began gathering small pieces of driftwood discovered earlier along the canyon floor. Each branch carried a story, shaped by wind and water, battered smooth by the slow passing of time. When added to the fire, they crackled with fresh sparks, sending gentle aromas of pine and juniper dancing around the campsite. The traveler inhaled these sweet notes, allowing them to mingle with the night's cool desert air. This simple, grounding pleasure became part of the tranquil atmosphere, weaving warmth and calm into the darkness. The canyon itself seemed alive with subtle echoes, puffs of wind brushing across stone, the distant shuffle of a nocturnal creature, the silent sweep of an owl's wings overhead. The traveler felt cocooned in a protective circle of light and shadow. Within that soft boundary, all worries began to fade. The tasks, routines, and hurried thoughts of day-to-day existence dissipated like mist under the sun. In their place, a serene awareness grew, nurtured by the mesmerizing dance of the fire and the gentle arms of the canyon walls. Time became fluid here, as though the usual markers of minutes and hours held little power. The steady, rhythmic popping of the fire provided gentle punctuation. The traveler watched as flames rose and fell, painting the canyon floor with flickering patterns. Shadows wavered on the stones, stretching into curious shapes that moved in gentle harmony with the shifting light. If one leaned back and let imagination flow, these shadows became silent storytellers, whispering of ancient epochs and the primal pulse of the land. Overhead, more stars emerged, weaving a tapestry of light that spanned the sky from horizon to horizon. The moon, still below the canyon rim, hinted at its presence with a delicate silver glow. A faint aura outlined the jagged peaks of rock, suggesting the moon would soon rise in full, illuminating the canyon's depths. The traveler continued to sit quietly by the fire, lulled by the softness of this wilderness night. The hush, broken only by the crackle of burning wood and the soft shifting of sand, invited reflection and inward peace. Memory and imagination drifted in the traveler's mind. Thoughts wandered to the path that led here, a winding journey through desert highways with bright afternoons and shimmering heat, now replaced by this vast and silent night. The traveler recalled the exhilarating moment of first stepping onto the rim of the canyon, the gasp at its sheer immensity, the sudden humility one feels in the face of nature's grandeur. Here, though, down in the canyon's basin, the traveler felt enveloped by the very heart of the land, as if embraced by age-old wisdom in the quiet dark. The fire's light illuminated a small radius, revealing the textured ground of sand and pebbles. Beyond that glow lay the gentle gloom, where the canyon walls formed massive silhouettes. In these shapes, the traveler found comfort. The magnitude of the canyon seemed to absorb all restlessness, as though it could cradle any unease until it dissolved into the silent night. This sensation of surrender felt both freeing and tender, inviting the traveler to let go of lingering anxieties, to let them drop into the calm depths below. Far above, a desert breeze stirred the upper layers of air. Now and then, it drifted through the campsite, cool and delicate. It brushed across the traveler's face, carrying the faint perfume of distant creosote. The traveler closed their eyes, feeling that gentle touch on the skin. With eyes shut, the crackling of fire and the whispered echoes of the canyon took on a new richness. Each sound stood out in relief. The swirl of embers, the soft rolling of a tiny pebble underfoot, the lulling hush of the night. As the moon began to crest the canyon rim, it cast silver beams across the rocky walls. Those beams traced the contours of the cliff faces, revealing the layered story of sediment and time. An otherworldly glow spread across the camp, mingling with the warm orange flames. In this union of moonlight and firelight, the traveler felt a sense of quiet joy. The canyon's night came fully alive, and the gentle interplay of light brought a renewed appreciation for the simple beauty of earth and sky. Beyond the glow of the camp, pockets of darkness remained. Within that darkness, the faint sparkle of mica in the rocks caught the moon's gaze, making tiny points of reflected light. The traveler watched them shimmer in the corner of an eye, small but vivid glints like hidden stars. This interplay of subtle spark and deep shadow wrapped the canyon in an aura of mystery. Yet it was not a fearful mystery, but one of gentle wonder, inviting slow, patient exploration. A soft wind carried the sound of quiet water from the river below. Although hidden from direct sight in the darkness, the Colorado River flowed steadily through the canyon's core. In daytime, its waters glistened with turquoise and bronze tones. But at night, it became a soothing lullaby, humming softly as it continued its timeless carving of the land. Sometimes the breeze would shift just enough to bring the scent of river moss, a green, earthy fragrance that mingled with the desert air. The traveler tended the fire, adding another piece of wood. Sparks leapt upward, drifting into the moonlit sky. Warmth radiated outward, gently touching the edges of the circle of darkness. For a moment, the traveler glanced upward, noticing how the canyon's rim framed the heavens. Tall spires of rock jutted up, creating a jagged silhouette. The night sky above looked vast, endless, and deeply inviting. Stars twinkled, some bright and some dim, each seemingly sharing a secret, each a silent companion in the quiet hours of the night. Within the traveler's heart grew a sense of gratitude for the stillness, for the ancient resonance of this place, for the comforting firelight that bridged the world of day and the hush of night. It felt as though the ground beneath was humming with its own subtle vibration. If one became very still, that hush seemed to have a slow, steady rhythm, like a faint pulse beneath the surface. Perhaps it was only the traveler's own heartbeat. Perhaps it was the heartbeat of the canyon itself. Either way, the synergy of that imagined pulse brought a renewed sense of connection. Sometimes, a far-off coyote's howl would echo against the canyon walls. It was a solitary voice, rising and fading in the distance, leaving behind a momentary hush that felt deeper than before. The traveler recognized it as a call of night's guardians, those creatures who roam freely under the moon, comfortable in starlight and shadow. There was no fear in hearing it, only the comforting knowledge that life continues gently all around, part of the grand tapestry of existence that envelops every stone and star. In the glow of the flames, the traveler studied the swirling grains of sand at their feet. Each grain was unique in color and size, shaped by centuries of wind and water. This small corner of the canyon floor was a testament to time's slow artistry. Holding a handful of sand, the traveler let the grains slip through fingers, feeling the gentle hush of nature's relentless transformation. The moment became a tiny meditation on change, acceptance, and the graceful passing of moments that together create the grand mural of life. Hours seemed to drift by, yet the night felt endless and patient. The traveler prepared a simple cup of tea, warming water in a small metal pot suspended over the fire's edge. Soon, soft tendrils of steam curled upward, carrying a delicate aroma. As the traveler sipped, warmth spread through the body, matching the subtle heat of the fire's glow. Each sip became a quiet ritual, a gentle pause to appreciate the taste, the texture, and the soothing effect on the spirit. In that moment, with tea in hand, the traveler felt entirely present. Thoughts of future and past receded, overshadowed by the intimate details of here and now. The curve of the canyon walls, the interplay of shadows, the languid dance of flames. The quiet hush of the desert night held space for reflection. But it was a reflection free of turmoil, guided instead by a gentle acceptance of what is. With each breath, the traveler found clarity and peace, as though the canyon's ancient presence whispered, "All is well." From time to time, a soft breeze would stir the embers, causing them to glow with renewed intensity. Their light revealed the traveler's calm face, eyes half closed in a restful state. Subtle lines of joy appeared around the traveler's eyes, an outward sign of the contentment found here. In another life, under the bustle of day, so many tasks might clamor for attention. But in the canyon's night, with only firelight to guide the senses, everything unnecessary fell away like leaves in autumn. What remained was the traveler's quiet soul, communing with the primal simplicity of light and darkness. After a while, the moon rose higher, washing the canyon with silver clarity. Rocks glowed softly, as though touched by some secret luminescence. The traveler watched the changing shapes of shadows as the moon ascended. Walls that were previously draped in darkness now shimmered with a cool glow, revealing layers of ochre, pink, and gray in a faint spectrum. Slowly, the traveler stood, stepping away from the fire's immediate warmth. A few steps away from the glow, moonlight took precedence, cooler yet just as comforting. Looking back toward the little campfire, the traveler smiled. It was a pocket of warmth, a friend in the vast night. The gentle flicker of flames felt even more precious when viewed from a short distance, surrounded by the towering majesty of stone and sky. For a moment, the traveler imagined the perspective of someone high up on the rim, gazing down to see just one solitary light. It might seem like a small star shining from within the canyon. The traveler felt gratitude for that flicker and for this unique moment of solitary reflection. Stepping a bit further, the traveler approached a ledge overlooking a deeper part of the canyon. Careful with each step, they peered into the silver-lit depths below. The hush of the desert wind brushed past, lifting the traveler's hair and softly tugging at the sleeves of a light jacket. Far below, though not quite visible in the moonlight, ran the steady pulse of the Colorado River. The traveler stood at the edge, allowing the sense of grandeur to wash over them. There was no need for words or explanation. The canyon itself spoke volumes in silent presence. After a short while, the traveler returned to the fireside, content to remain in the warm circle of light. Settling again on a soft seat near the glowing embers, they took one more sip of tea and felt the desert hush grow deeper. The gentle crackle of flames remained the only immediate sound. Though the traveler's eyes were open, the slow rhythms of the fire and the canyon walls had a lulling effect. The body felt increasingly heavy, relaxed, and drawn toward rest. In that comforting stillness, memories of the day's journey flickered briefly. Sunlit vistas along winding roads, the first glimpse of the canyon's rim, the rustle of footsteps on rocky trails. Each memory floated by like a soft cloud drifting across the night sky. Observed, but not clung to. The traveler simply watched as these thoughts passed, returning each time to the present moment. The gentle warmth of fire, the cushion of the earth, the hush that invited rest. By now the moon had ascended far above, bathing the canyon in pale radiance. In the distance, silhouettes of desert shrubs and hardy plants waved gently in the breeze. The night air was cool against the traveler's cheeks, counterbalanced by the toasty heat of the campfire. This contrast was pleasant, a reminder of nature's harmony. Coolness and warmth, light and shadow, silence and sound, all found balance in the canyon's embrace, each element complementing the other with effortless grace. An unhurried tranquility filled the traveler's heart. They watched the fire die down to embers, each glowing coal a tiny world of orange light, pulsing and shifting like the breath of a sleeping creature. When the flames occasionally licked up, one last dance of shadows would waver on the canyon walls. Then the fire would settle again into a steady smolder, content with a quieter glow. The traveler allowed the mind to follow suit, drifting toward a gentle, restful place where dreams might begin. As the night deepened, the traveler prepared a small sleeping space. A warm blanket, laid out on the soft ground, invited the body to recline. The traveler eased down, feeling the warm earth beneath. The remains of the fire still offered a gentle radiance, enough to comfort without intruding on the welcoming darkness. Eyes turned upward to the sky, finding the bright cluster of stars overhead. The sense of time stretched once more, and the quiet grew so profound that even the traveler's own breathing seemed to merge with the faint whisper of the canyon breeze. Drifting in that half-waking, half-dreaming realm, the traveler felt a deep sense of belonging. The canyon, ancient and vast, cradled the human form as tenderly as any gentle caretaker might. There was a feeling that all was precisely as it should be. The subtle crinkle of the blanket, the rustle of a breeze, the hush of distant waters, each contributed to a lullaby of the wild. Slowly, the traveler's eyelids grew heavy, lulled by the continuous hush. Peace, it seemed, was woven into every breath. Now, as the fire's final embers glimmered, the shadows in the canyon changed once again. The traveler, nearly at the threshold of sleep, registered the faint transitions in light. In a moment of quiet clarity, a contented sigh escaped. The body's tensions had long since melted away, replaced by the sweet weight of impending slumber. Surrounded by the grandeur of the canyon and the gentle starlight overhead, the traveler eased into a serene state. It was as though the ancient stones themselves whispered permission to rest, to dream, to find comfort in the arms of the night. Hours flowed softly. The desert hush carried the traveler into deeper rest, cradling them in a cocoon of timeless stillness. Occasional faint calls of night birds and the distant trickle of water lulled them ever onward. In this half-lit realm of calm, the traveler's thoughts turned into gentle images, flickering like the dying fire's embers. Scenes of warm desert sunsets, the silhouette of a solitary raven perched on a ledge, and the soft swirl of canyon breezes all blended into a tapestry of dreams. Gradually, those dreams grew as silent and expansive as the starfield overhead. The shifting illusions of the mind became as vast as the canyon walls, open and free. The breath remained steady, the body relaxed, and the gentle pulse of desert night enveloped the traveler's quiet slumber. There was no hurry, no expectation. The canyon and the traveler shared in this nighttime symphony, one as the cradle, the other as the child. Both existed in mutual, peaceful harmony. And so the night continued, deep and serene, each hour drifting seamlessly into the next. At times, a gentle gust might stir the traveler, but it only beckoned them to burrow deeper into rest. The temperature cooled, yet the lingering warmth of the campfire's embers and the soft insulation of the blanket kept the traveler snug. Overhead, constellations slid across the sky, a silent celestial dance that had occurred for eons. Nature's quiet rhythms formed a backdrop to the traveler's deepest rest, ensuring that the mind and spirit could journey freely into realms of solace. When the moon finally sank beyond the canyon's edge, its silver glow faded, leaving the stars to shine in their full brilliance. Yet the traveler slept on, cradled by the ancient stones. The hush grew even softer, if such a thing could be. The canyon exhaled in time with the traveler's breathing, or so it seemed in the stillness of night. Each breath was a gentle wave, washing away any lingering fragment of waking thought. Only a deep, soothing darkness remained, offering comfort that required no words. In the final stretch of the night, the sky above turned the faintest shade of cobalt, signaling that dawn was still some hours away. The canyon, in its patient majesty, stood watch over the sleeping traveler, as though standing guard against any disturbance. Far-off breezes murmured across stone and sage, weaving a lullaby for the desert's resting creatures. The traveler remained in that soft cradle of dreams, drifting through layers of peaceful slumber, far from the day's cares. Let the traveler's gentle sleep be a guide now, coaxing you into your own quiet rest. The story of the Grand Canyon's firelight shadows has filled the mind with warm, calming images. All is hushed and perfectly still in this sacred place where day has slipped softly into night. You have walked with the traveler through the canyon's deep embrace, felt the warmth of the fire, and watched the stars overhead. Now, as the final notes of this story fade, allow your own body to follow the tranquil path into restful slumber. Breathe softly and deeply. With each slow inhale, welcome the comfort of the night. With each leisurely exhale, let any hint of tension melt away. Feel the warmth in your limbs, a soothing weight that gently pins you to a realm of deep relaxation. Like the traveler, you are free to wander in your dreams through soft moonlight and the grand expanse of canyon walls. No hurry, no demands, just the welcoming hush that lulls you toward a gentle, healing sleep. So now, close your eyes if they are not already closed, and drift away on the lullaby of stillness. Let the echoing hush of the canyon guide you through each layer of rest, deeper and deeper, until you find yourself wrapped in the comforting darkness of night. This is the place where you can truly release, letting dreams wash over you like a tender wave. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.